Hey guys, hope you're all well. Right, another session on the RM. As you know, we're waiting for paintwork for the Enfield, the tank and stuff. I'm not going to pressurise him for that because I want to just leave him in his own time to do a fantastic job, because his paintwork is absolutely amazing. So I'm just sort of leaving him to it. He'll call me when it's all done, and then obviously the Enfield will be all in one piece then, ready for one of you guys to own it. Anyway, RM. I mentioned in the last video that I was going to do a front sprocket cover, or I was thinking about what to do with the front sprocket cover. I'm going to make one. Sort of have it in keeping with the other cover that we've done, the heel plate on the other side, but in thicker material. So on this, we've got the two mounting holes here, but I'm also going to do an extra bit that basically rolls round here, and that is a case saver. So if the chain ever does give up or go wrong or come off and gathers up round here, which sometimes happens, this bit that I'll make extra will stop it smashing into the engine cases and destroying the engine. So we'll do that and the little cover for it. Like I said, you can get these, the standard ones, but you know, look how big that is. It's tiny. And they're like I say, they're 48 quid. So let's just make one. We'll do a nice job of it. You can get several different aftermarket ones, so there's no real rule book with the design, I guess. We'll just make something that looks okay. Yeah, I've ordered quite a few more bits for this. So we're just going to keep ploughing along as the bits roll in. I've got the wheels to sort out as well. They're over there somewhere. I'll sort them very, very soon. I've got to order this cap as well. Look at that. We've got to change that. It looks worse in the flash than what it does on video. Like, to give you an idea, I've got my KX on here. Wrong thread though, which is a shame. That just looks loads better. Less cheesy than that monstrosity. I don't know, just looks bad. Shame that didn't fit, because I would have just put that on, but it's too big, the threads obviously. Talking of KXs, I've had a bad experience with my KX. Absolutely gutted. So then a couple of days I had off. Me and Gertrude planned to go off into the Welsh Mountains, which we did. We loaded the bikes up into the van, done the 140-mile trip or whatever it is into this little place where we park up, and we was going to get the bikes out, not do any off-roading because I can't at the minute, but just go around all the little mountain roads and forestry roads that you're allowed on, just smooth, flat tracks. But my bike wouldn't start. Got all the way there, and my bike wouldn't start. And it was totally and utterly my stupid fault. So I found a larger tank for that bike. So the day we was leaving for Wales, I decided to quickly swap the tanks over. That's where it all started going downhill. Anyway, in these tanks, because it's fuel injected, the fuel pump sits inside the tank. So old tank off, fuel pump out the old tank. What I'd done as well, I'd got a fuel filter. I thought I might as well put a new fuel filter on while the pump's out. So I'd done all that, put it back in, slung the bike in the back of the van and went. Didn't even try starting it. I don't know why. Getting prepared to go for a few days in Wales with bikes and everything. It's a day's work putting all that stuff together. So I was rushing, trying to get everything done, because then I have to go and collect Gertrude and then off into Wales. Anyway, we got to Wales about 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Had a bit of a sleep in the van, got up, got all our gear on, kicked my bike several times, nothing. Weren't even trying to start. As a rule, that bike starts so easy. No, it weren't having it. 2 kicks, 3 kicks, 5 kicks, 10 kicks, 20 kicks. Nope. Oh no. I thought, right, the only thing I've touched is the fuel pump. Luckily we took tools although that didn't work out in the end. So I had the, had the biking bits in the Welsh mountains. Something else I didn't really want to do is work on bikes while I'm trying to get a few days off. Just wanted to ride it, not work on it. Hey-oh. Anyway, inside these fuel pumps, they have what we call a teabag filter. That thing. That's the bit I replaced. This is the one that I put on, which is now in my hand. So, what had happened, without me realising, the plastic cap on there goes on top of the actual pump motor, is slightly different on the inside. Although this was for a KX450 2015, the plastic cap's different. We can probably guess where this came from, what part of the world. So what it was doing, when I'd done everything up, this was crushing into the top of the actual motor and seizing it up, stopping it. So I literally had no fuel pump at all. It took me a bit to figure out, with bits of KX all over the Welsh mountains in bits, nuts, bolts, tanks, tools everywhere, panicking, trying to get it fixed. But no, that's basically squashed the motor, because it all goes in a housing and you clamp the housing down. And when you're clamping the housing down, this was going down and crushing the motor and stopping it. You probably know some of them tiny little motors don't take a lot of stopping. You can literally stop one with your fingers. That, you know, they're not meant to have any resistance, only fuel. So yeah, when I figured that out, I tried modifying a few things and then realised that with this thing being on and off, we'd also torn a little O-ring, so it completely lost all pressure. And yeah, the story goes on. Gertrude tried to go off and find O-rings. He found some. We weren't sure if they're fuel proof. It turns out they didn't, so the bike went so far down the road and stopped again, lost all fuel pressure. So yeah, a couple of days completely ruined. Slightly saved by a friend of mine who's got a caravan in Wales, who turned up in the lay-by with broke down and drowning our sorrows in. So we ended up having that night in his caravan. So yeah, that saved it a bit, which is brilliant. But yeah, it didn't go to plan. It was a bit upsetting, because that sort of was my real last chance to go and ride the bike around a bit. So gutted with that, absolutely gutted. Although I do plan in a few days' time to go off with Mr. Hudson up north to do something. He's got something planned. I'm just trying to squeeze a few things in before I'm completely out of action. That's all I'm trying to do. Anyway, let's crack on with this RM. Right, we'll start with the little case saver bit. As I say, if the chain does give up, this will give it a better chance of the chain not smashing its way through the engine. We'll just keep this simple. I'll use that back edge actually. This is set to the hole centers, which I'm not going to drill them just yet, because I need to fold this as well a tiny bit. So I'm just going to mark these just to give me an idea where they are, because when I fold it, obviously that is going to change. You'll see what I mean. That's just going to give me a sort of whereabouts of them. Right, I'm going to keep the back end flat. Let me get me square as well. I need to get some curved, because it needs to hug the chain as close as we can get it. Just remove the front sprocket, just to give me an idea. I think this old plastic pot will give me a radius that's about right. Right, let's cut that out, because we need to fold it so it drops in a tiny bit, because it obviously it needs to be in line with the chain to catch it if it all goes wrong. So we'll quickly cut that out, then we'll fold it. Well, we'll offer it up against the engine, then we'll fold it and then put the holes in. Right, just sorting this radius out. So we've got the sprocket and I've got a little section of old chain, and we can see if we're going to have enough clearance, which we are. That's spot on. Right, what we're going to do now is figure out what shape we're going to put into it, because I've got to inset it a little bit from the mounting points and then shape all the back. Let's get that out to miss the engine. Let's have a look. Right, seeing all this on there now, I don't think I've got to step it in. Just flush onto these mounting points is going to do it just fine. What I'm going to do is take a bit off the back of this as well to miss the engine, so we get it in there. So that's about central. So we've got to take a chunk out of that, because we want this section here as wide as possible so it's strong enough to obviously take a bit of a thump off the chain if it does give up. Not that it ever will, but it's there. You'd rather crumple all this up than smash through your cases. So I'll just take a little bit out of that. Getting close now. What I need to do is put a bit of a kink in it there. This part of the casing here just protrudes slightly from these surfaces. I don't want to space it because we're going to start coming away from the chain then, and the purpose of this is to stay in line with the chain as much as possible and as close as possible as well. So the one on my KX runs literally this close to the chain. So yeah, it's just rocking on that bit of casing, so we need to mark that where it is. Let me just get a black thing. I'll think about there. At least that'll keep it straight. I'll just give that a slight kink just to tidy that up. Right, so we end up with that. I think what I'm going to do is just drop a little bit of heat in the middle of that. This is quite tough stuff. Let's get my gloves on. Yeah, so all I'm doing is putting that through the centre and bringing these flaps back down so they're level again. That's better. Slightly over, but that's easy to put right. Right, we have a very, very slight twist in that. You should see that rocking. So, go back in the vise. You can sort of eye that up by looking down. Adjust the balls. I think that's close enough. Right, that should got us past that bit of protruding casing there. Yep. Oh, that's sorted. Right, now I think we can sort the holes out next and then go for trimming all the bulk of the top and bottom of it off. Right, bit of masking tape across the back of that. Right, I have no engineer's bluing or anything like that, but what I have got, utilise what you've got. Bit of back to black for bumpers. If I can get in it, seems to have glued itself shut. There we go. Because I know this will come off. Not it matters if we have a bit of black on that surface, it ain't going to hurt. And yet, that needs mixing up. That should do us. Bit of a paintbrush. Ooh, we ain't quite got that, have we? Bit more black. That's got us. Alright, let's get a bit of rag and get that black off if we can. There we go. That's where our holes have got to go. Just a quick check then. Ooh, they line up nicely. You'll see this one looks closer. That's because that's literally how it is. That mounting point's quite close at the bottom there, so obviously we've got to follow it. We can trim all this off now. Hello, mate. He's back again. Got a back scratch, eh? I don't really want that end. No. Right, just laying a rough shape out. I think come straight down there with it. Hello again. Should we write your name on your head? We don't like the smell of that. Does that stink? Stinky marker pen, eh? Right. Yeah, I think something like that will do. Cut the backs off, because when we make the actual sprocket cover, not really going to see any of this. This is just there to do a job. So I reckon that'll do us. Right. Got a bit of a basic shape going on now. Just to dress some radiuses into there now with the old whirly thing. Right then, moving forward a little bit. We are sorted, and here's Blue again. Hello. I don't know what it is with him just lately. He's enjoying helping. He's got to be in on everything, ain't you, mate? Come on then. Right. God. You all right there, eh? You all right? Let me just do this bit, Blue, and then we'll have a minute. So there we go. Obviously, you ain't even going to see this bit when I've done the other bit, but that is going to be there, doing its job, in case there ever is a problem with the chain. Let's see what I mean. It's just going to smash into this and not take all this casing out here if it ever does go wrong. Not that it will. Not if the chain's maintained and properly looked after. It should never happen, but you never know. It's there just in case. So next then, I've got this dog down here. Next, we'll design the cover for the sprocket. Obviously we're going to have to put some little spacers in here. So that'll go on first. 2 little spacers, then the cover. So let's get on and design that. At least we've got perfect all measurements now that I can take off this. We're going to go on paper to start with this one. So if we go with the hole centers first, come off that, come off that. I'm not going to follow that shape at the back. I'm going to do it so it exposes a bit of this, just make things a little bit more interesting. So I might come... In fact, yeah, it'd be nice if we do see a little bit of that. If we do something like what we've done on the other side with the heel plate. Maybe curve that. Yeah, let's get that popped. Terrible lines. We'll follow one of them. Okay, if that's behind that, I'll see more when we cut this out. Might have to shorten that because obviously it's got to miss everything moving. I'm going to have a mess about with it, and I'll be back with you with something close, I hope. Right, we have a basic plan. So obviously that bit's there to do the job, as you know. And then I think something fairly simple really to go there like so. Obviously that will be spaced off that and sitting there nicely, I think. Right, I've got the basic shape cut out, but I've had a slip with the grinder. That's quite annoying because it is on the face side. I should be able to dress it out. So I'm going to do that first before I go any further, because I can't leave that there because that will really annoy me. So I need to know I can make it disappear before I go and do all the detail. Okay. I'm nearly there. It's just obviously tucking in behind the frame there. And that's going to restrict me a little bit, so I've got to trim this down and get it away from the frame. So I'm just going to mark the bits I've got to deal with and decide how I'm going to trim it down. I think I'm just going to go straight up there. This misses the frame then. And I'm thinking perhaps just one cut out. Yeah. Let's get that trimmed off and then I'll decide what I'm doing here. Get me circle back. Okay, I've got it. It's the light bulb's come on. I just weren't pleased with that, the bulk of that shape. At the end of the day, I haven't got to cover the whole sprocket. I've just had a look at my KX and the little guard on there is tiny. It certainly doesn't cover the whole of the sprocket. It's only to guard it a bit, stop you sticking your head in there or something like that. So I'm going to take the whole bottom corner off and then just do the one cut out, and that'll do it. That's solved. It won't look so bulky, and I think it will look a lot better like that. That's it. I think that's solved. Just really simple. Right, I'm going to start tidying things up now. So we got this radius to get into my scribe line. In fact, while we're at that, let me get me a little brass bit for that one as well. Oh, it's good to see them nice and tidy. That's not looking central, is it? I can't see properly. No, I didn't have it central. That's better. Actually ain't far off with that one. Right, let's have a crack at that one there. Better. Right, I'm going to get on and dress some of the outside of this up, and then I think I literally will do that cutout that I've got marked, or thereabouts, something like that. Let me get that rad better, and then I'm going to work on that. Get in there. Right. I've got that tidied up. I haven't done any cutouts on that yet. I don't know if it needs any. Now I've vastly reduced it. Who would have thought? Blue's here again. he's proper liking helping just lately. You alright there, mate? Hey? You alright? You gonna let me carry on? Or are you just gonna, like, squeeze around me like a cat? No? Yeah? Right. Where are we? Yeah. Since reducing its size by quite a lot, I don't know if it needs any. I'm going to put it on and see what I think. I could always sort of get on with other jobs in the next video and stare at it for a little while and decide what I'm going to do. I've got a squeaky hole. There we go. I need to dress that top of that up a bit more though, because that don't look that good. Can't stand rough edges on stuff that's cut out. I can sort that out. It's not turned out too bad at all. It probably looks massive on the camera, but obviously in the grand scheme of things with the whole bike, it is quite a small part. Yeah, that's turned out all right though. I'm unsure. I'm unsure. I'm going to leave it like that for a bit. But more than likely, I will do a cutout on it. I don't know. Or even like a hole at the end there or something. Following that radius. Just something really simple. I'm starting to treat it like a custom bike. I'm not a dirt bike. I know that. I know that. It's a bit of pride. That's all it is. That's what I'm calling it. Was it stupidity? I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna soak on that for a couple of days because there's plenty to do on here, and I'll see if it keeps drawing my eye to it, and my head keeps saying no, cut it out. We'll see. Anyway, I've had stuff arrive today, which is good. That comes super quick. I think it's the quickest we've ever had any post in this village. Normally it can be quite late. So we got a lever. We got a nice plain silver lever. Obviously that's going in this area as well. This was what was on it. I'm not saying anything. On this, let's get this out of the packet. This looks so much better. So much better. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. So we're going to have that there as well, obviously. That is so much better than that. Yeah. I wonder if I could just rest that on there, just so we can see. A bit of broken chains in the way. There we go. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Oh, I can't get it. Oh, sorry, Blue. You're in the drop zone of clumsiness. Clumsy old me. Yes. Let's see if I can get it on. Probably the bolt's pinched up a little bit. Yeah, it is. I'll leave it. But yeah, I'm happy with that. That's quite nice, actually. It's quite nice. What else did we get? I've got all the service kit for the fork, so that'll be one of the videos. And also, we got the service kit for the rear brake master cylinder there. So all that can go on now, and we can get all this fitted. But that will probably all in the next video. The next video may be a mix of several different jobs on this. Now I've got that sort of done. I'll decide on the cutout. I'm sure some of you in the comments will say leave it and some will say cut it out. So I get that. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, next video we'll just carry on. It will be a mix of jobs. I've got to strip the wheels out. They're down here. Just a bit of a reminder of how rough this bike was. Yeah. As you remember, the whole bike was like this. In a bit of a mess. So these wheels are getting stripped out, getting all the rims sorted, and stainless spokes. Build it all up with stainless spokes. So that should look a lot better. So yeah, that'll be the next stint on the RM, because I've got to do measurements of the offset of the hubs and everything like that, make sure they all go back together right. But yeah, that'll do. That's another little bit done, isn't it? That's sort of the last of the making things jobs. Everything else is all clean up, service, bolt on. I'm going to get the rest of the plastics done as well. I say the rest. I've got the front mudguard to clean up, this white side panel and the front number board that's all over there. We'll get all that sorted. I have got new louvers coming. I think I mentioned that. So I'll get them on as soon as they come. Yeah, we're progressing nicely now. I think that will do. Again, thank you all so much for following. It's very much appreciated. Thank you all for the wonderful comments. I do go through reading them all. I don't always acknowledge them. So sometimes I'll just do it while I'm sat in here with my cup of tea, a quick glance through. So yeah, I appreciate all the comments. I know I don't get to see all the comments everywhere, especially on the Facebook group and everything like that. It does get a little bit overwhelming because I'm old, I'm useless, and I'm not very good on computers. So yeah, but I appreciate it all immensely. Anyway, that'll do. Next stint should be a mix up of jobs on this RM and just keep ploughing forward. That'll do. Cheers for watching, guys. Take care.